All right, so now we've covered why we need them. Let's talk about what we need. They all have about 4 different components that are usable and mean something to you. All right, let's talk about the container first. The container, as you can see, is really sturdy steel, and it protects the whole system. It also locks, and so that everything inside is guarded. It's movable. It makes it portable still. You can see the big wheels on the bottom. Those are all-terrain wheels, and so that it can be taken over any kind of terrain, whether it be grass, whether it be road, whether it be paved or unpaved. You can still move this across it. And this also serves another purpose besides protecting it. When this is down, this forms a Faraday cage, and this is going to protect against EMP strikes. Now, you'd still want to drive a grounding rod into it and have a cable running to the grounding rod, but it would still work. And all of the EMP would be dissipated before it got to your equipment. This makes it very valuable. You know, in this probability and in this day and age, that's unfortunately a reality that we all have to face. And then it's growable. What do you need inside this box? You need something that turns, first of all, pulls down the energy. That's what your solar panels are going to do. Then it needs to turn the energy into something you can use. That's what the inverter does. Then it needs to store that energy, and that's what this battery does. So you have a containment, you have storage, you have an inverter, and then you have solar panels. When you add all that together, you have a really great system. So it can either be basic, and you can run for a short time the equipment that you see behind me in this room, in the kitchen, or it can be elaborate, and you can run more things like lights, TVs, DVRs for the kids, lots of things during a crisis that are actually going to be quite beneficial, especially if you have small children. Earthquakes are very scary things. If you can turn on a movie, get them watching Lion King, problem's over. Their mind is off it and they're happy. There's some real benefit to that. The kids are happy, mom's a little happier too. All right, so let's talk about this. When it comes to the inverter, there's many choices. You know, a 1500 watt inverter is going to run most of the things in here. What that means is that it can't go beyond 1500 watts. If you put 2 appliances that are 1200 watts each and plug them into that inverter, nothing will run, right? So it's got to add up to 1500 watts. How you use that is up to you. And most inverters don't give you, right off the bat, their true wattage. They give it a peak wattage. Now, so if this is a 3000 model, this will be a 3000 peak wattage. But what is its constant run is the important figure to you. You need at least 1200 to run some of these appliances in this kitchen. This is a 1200 watt microwave. It needs at least 1200 watts to run it. So your inverter's got to be at least that big. Now, there's also a sine wave with an inverter. The more sensitive the computer equipment that we put on it, the more pure that sine wave has to be. If you're taking a fridge that's 15 years old, a modified sine wave will probably do. But why risk it? If you can buy pure sine wave, then very sensitive equipment can be hooked up to it without fear of damage. Computers, your phone, other things are fairly complicated today, and they run on pure sine waves. So the purer the sine wave, the better. We like to push people into a pure sine wave, because then we know it'll run just about anything, as long as the wattage is correct. As far as the storage goes, the more batteries, the better. Now, if you're going to get more batteries, you also have to have a way to charge it. It has to be, the solar panels have to be increased. Otherwise, you're charging for 4 or 5 days to get your system charged up, and that's not going to do, because you're going to need it every day. What if you have medical people? You know what your needs are. Besides just being in the kitchen, it could be a medical need. Do you have an oxygenator? Do you have a diabetic person in the family that needs cold, keep their insulin cold? Do you have people on CPAP machines? Just for example. All of those things have to be thought of first before a crisis is experienced. If you do that first, then you're going to be able to breeze through this with a minimal amount of collateral damage.